Hi, I'm Thuy, and this is Second Bloom Journey, where we help women over 40, especially those who navigating big cultural or life transitions, rediscover their purpose, power, and potential. Today, we will talk about how to find true calling after 40. When you've spent decades building a life, maybe raising children, maybe following a partner's career, maybe just trying to survive in a new country, it's easy to wake up one day and think, is this it? Is this all there is? I know that feeling intimately. At 40, I was a single mom, fresh out of a long marriage, watching my kids grow up fast. And I felt invisible. I didn't know where I belonged. Not fully in America. Not fully in Vietnam. I had spent so many years caring for others, putting everyone else's needs first, that I didn't even remember what I'd wanted for myself. If you're an immigrant woman over 40, you may be feeling this too. Maybe you're lying awake at night wondering, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to do with the rest of my life? Maybe you feel like you've lost yourself somewhere between the cultural expectations, the daily responsibilities, and the constant balancing act of life in a country that still sometimes feels foreign. Today, we're going to talk about how to rediscover your purpose, reignite that energies you thought was gone forever, and find your true calling, even if you feel like you're starting from complete scratch. Because here's what I've learned. It's never too late to become who you're meant to be. Let me share something personal with you. For over 10 years, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I want to be clear, I'm not diminishing that role. It's one of the hardest, most important jobs in the world. But somewhere in those years of diaper change, school pickups, and making sure everyone else's life ran smoothly, I lost myself. I remember the exact moment when I realized the calling for a change. I was looking at my teenagers, these incredible young women I'd helped raise, and I thought, what am I modeling for them? Am I showing them what it looks like to pursue dreams, to be brave, to reinvent yourself? And the honest answer was no. I was showing them how to play it safe, how to make yourself small, how to convince yourself that your dreams have expiration dates. But here's what I want you to understand. We're not too old. We're not too late. In fact, at this stage of our lives, we have something our 20 years old selves never had: wisdom, resilience, and a quality that only comes from having lived through real challenges. Here's a stat that changed everything for me. According to Harvard Business Review, the average age of a successful founder is 45. 45. Life experience doesn't hold us back. It fuels our success. Every challenge you faced, every cultural barrier you've navigated, every time you've had to start over, that's not your burden, that's your superpower. I want to talk about something that I know many of you are struggling with. This feeling of being caught between worlds, between identities. When I went back to Vietnam to visit family, people looked at me and saw someone who had become Americanized. They'd comment on how I changed, how I thought differently now. But here in US, I was still the woman with an accent. the one with a foreign name that people couldn't quite pronounce correctly. I didn't fit neatly anywhere. Can you relate to that? That feeling of being too much for one culture and not enough for another? And then there's the identity trap that so many of us fall into. We start believing that our identity is only tied to our past roles, mothers, wife, employee. We think, this is who I am. This is all I am. No, that's not true. Your identity isn't a prison sentence. It's not a single label or a box you have to stay in forever. Purpose. Your true calling is not about finding one perfect label for yourself. It's about discovering what lights you up inside, what makes you feel most alive, and how you can serve others with the unique gifts that only you possess. Every culture you carry within you, every language you speak, every hardship you've overcome, these aren't things that make you different in a way you need to hide. You make you different in a way that the world needs. The question isn't, where do I fit? The question is, what unique value can I bring to the world because of exactly who I am? Now, let's get practical. I'm going to share 3 concrete steps that helped me discover my calling, and more importantly, how you can apply them to your own life. Step 1. Rediscover your passion from the past. I want you to think back before life got so busy, before all the responsibilities piled up. What did you love doing? What activities made you completely lose track of time? For me, I realized that even as a child, I loved learning new things, solving problems, and figuring out how to create value. I was a kid who would read everything I could get my hands on, who loved puzzle, who was always trying to make things better or more efficient. When I started flipping houses, I realized that I wasn't just good at real estate. I was good at seeing potentials where others saw problems. That curiosity, that problem-solving drive that had been there all along. Here's what I want you to do. Take out a piece of paper right now and write down 10 things you genuinely enjoyed between the age of 10 and 25. Don't overthink it. What made you happy? What felt natural? What did you do just because you loved doing it? Step 2. Identify your natural strength. Passions without strength is just wishful thinking. You need to understand what you're naturally good at. When I started negotiating real estate deals, I wasn't just lucky. I was actually good at spotting opportunities that others missed. I was good at seeing the big picture, at understanding market trends, at building relationships with people from different backgrounds. I recommend taking tools like Gallup Strengths Finders assessment or the VIA character strengths test. But also, think about your cultural strengths, things that maybe you take for granted, but are actually superpowers. Your resilience from starting over in a new country, your adaptabilities from navigating different cultures, your multilingual skills, your ability to see situations from multiple perspectives. your work ethic that was shaped by having proved yourself over and over again. These aren't just nice qualities, these are competitive advantages in today's global economy. Step number 3, combine passion, strengths, and needs. So magic happens at the intersections of 3 things: what you love, what you're good at, and what the world needs. For me, this combination led to writing my book for teenagers about financial literacy. I love learning and problem solving and helping people. I was good at understanding financial concepts and breaking them down simply. And there was a clear need. Young people desperately need better financial education. Your passions might be helping people. Your strength might be your ability to connect with others who feel like outsiders. The world's need might be for a more inclusive space in your community or industry. Or maybe your passions is creativity. Your strength is your unique cultural perspective. And the world needs more diverse voices in whatever field you choose. The key is to stop looking for one perfect answer and start experimenting with different combinations. Your calling might be broader than you think. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, fear. Specifically, the fear that you're too old, too late. You're too late, that you've somehow missed your window. I felt this so deeply. When I decided to write my book, I feared that no one would read it. When I started investing in mutual fund and ETF, I feared that I would lose all my money. But here's what I learned. The world is full of people who never even try. The world is full of people who let fear making decisions for them. You, just by watching this video, just by asking these questions about your purpose, you're already ahead of most people. My real estate journey wasn't luck. Turning 30,000 into $500,000 in 3 years happened because I used my life experience to make strategic decisions. I understood the value of research, of patience, of building relationship, and the discipline that comes from years of making a household and making things work with limited resources. Your age is not your limitation, it's your advantages. You have something that younger people don't have: perspective. You've already survived so much. You've already proven you can adapt, learn, and overcome challenges. The question isn't whether you're too late. The question is, are you going to let fear decide the next chapter of your life look like? Here's what I want you to do the next 7 days. I'm calling it Your Purpose Challenge. Day 1 to 7. Daily journaling. Spend 15 minutes every morning journaling about 2 questions. What lights me up? And when do I feel most myself? Don't edit yourself, just write. This week, talk to 3 people who inspire you. They could be your friends, colleagues, or even people you admire from afar. Ask them one simple question. Do you see as my strength? Sometimes others can see your gifts more clearly than we can. Before next week, try one small experiment in an area you're curious about. Take a class, volunteer for a cause that you care about, start a small creative project. It doesn't have to be perfect or permanent. It just has to be a step toward discovery. I want you to treat these 7 days as an investment in yourself, not a luxury, not something you get to someday, but a priority. Because you are a priority. If you've been telling yourself it's too late, if you've been waiting for the right time or for someone to give you permissions to dream again, I'm here as living proof it's never too late. At 40, I went from being a stay-at-home mom who felt invisible to an executive business partner, to an author, to someone who managed her own investments and dreams boldly about what's possible. Your calling is not behind you. It's not something you missed in your 20s or 30s. It's right in front of you, waiting for you to step toward it with the courage and wisdom you've earned through every years of your life. If this message spoke to your heart, I have 2 requests. First, share this video with another woman who needs to hear it. Sometimes we need someone else to believe in our dreams before we can believe in them ourselves. Second, come back next week because we're going to talk about something even more powerful. How to turn your accent, your cultural differences, your immigrant experiment into your greatest professional and personal superpower. Until then, remember, you're not too old. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be to begin again.